Do you guys remember that time that Princess Zelda basically doomed her entire timeline to fail and then was miraculously saved by the good graces of, well, Lady Luck? No? Well, then allow me to remind you. See, for those of you who have played The Wind Waker, you'll probably recall that whenever a new game is started, the first thing you see is a lengthy prologue cutscene detailing the events of the land of Hyrule leading up to The Wind Waker. For those of you who have played Ocarina of Time, you'll probably recognize the fact that a good, nearly half of the entire cutscene is detailing the events of Ocarina of Time. This is further solidified when the cutscene straight up states that the hero of legend they're referring to is known as the Hero of Time, which, as some people may not know, actually only refers to a single Link in particular. You know, this guy. This is all well and good, and hearing how the good old Hero of Time beat Ganon, who you may or may not have heard of before this point, just leaves a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart. The cutscene serves to prove several things in a meager 2 or 3 minutes of runtime. It disproves the all Zelda games are retelling the same event theory, helps to prove the existence of and solidifies the Wind Waker's place in the adult timeline, and even hints at the reincarnation of the spirit of the hero. Or does it? You see, the cutscene takes a turn in a twist of plot that ever since I played the game for the first time when I was a child, I always thought was really weird. As we know from the events of the game that we see further on, the goddesses took things into their own hands and flooded Hyrule when Ganon returned. And why did they do this, you ask? Well, it all comes down to 5 simple words stated plainly and clearly in the prologue. When evil crept back into the land, the people of Hyrule believed the Hero of Time would save them. But the hero did not appear. Evil had returned. The people had panicked and their faith in the gods was tested, but the hero was nowhere to be found. As with many things in Zelda lore, it all comes back to Ocarina of Time. In the events of the game, as some will recall and others will, well, spoiler warning, Zelda and Link plot to defeat the man with the evil eyes by use of the legendary Master Sword. Upon opening the door of time that led to the blade, however, in one of the coolest twists ever done in the history of gaming, it was brutally revealed to the player that their actions had actually enabled Ganondorf to access the Triforce resting within the Sacred Realm, as Link was put to sleep for 7 long years, only to awaken to a future riddled with Ganondorf's evil. Enter the adult timeline. Fast forward to the end of the game, and Link and Zelda are able to harness the power of the sages, the hero, and the Master Sword to seal Ganon away and restore peace to the land for a time. After the fight, we're shown a pivotal cutscene that details the Princess Zelda attempting to remedy her mistakes. You see, it was her fault that Ganondorf had access to the Sacred Realm in the first place. This whole Master Sword defeating evil thing, as you'll recall, was her idea, her burden, which is why she decided to send Link back to the original timeline, the child timeline, her remedy. But while she may have saved the child timeline's Hyrule from Ganondorf's 7-year reign by sending Link back to her child self, the adult timeline lived on without the Hero of Time. Princess Zelda's new adult timeline that she alone was left to protect had new rules. You see, there was a princess, there was the evil that was sealed away temporarily, there were the goddesses, but there was no longer a hero. Enter the prologue to The Wind Waker. Now, I can hear you thinking, is MNB really insinuating that a complete timeline of The Legend of Zelda lacks the spirit of the hero? Well, yes, but also no. You see, if we look at the events of The Wind Waker with this new idea in mind, there are certain things that start to make sense. Several times in the game, the Hero of Winds is compared directly to the Hero of Time, only to conclude that he is not in fact the legendary hero. The Great Deku Tree immediately begins speaking in the ancient Hylian tongue once Link saves him from his acne problem. It's okay, buddy, we've all been there. Thinking he was the Hero of Time from ages past, which the Great Deku Tree had met before, long ago. However, once you play the game over in hero mode, you, the player, can actually understand this ancient language being spoken. It's then revealed that he conclusively states Link is not the Hero of Time. In a similar situation, later on in the game when Link and the King of Red Lions are meeting with the great fish Jabun while he's in hiding, the two share a conversation that the player can only understand one side of, again until you play the game over in hero mode. It's then revealed that their conversation goes a little something like this. "It must mean you have found the hero of time, does it not? Unfortunately, that is not so. Then for what purpose have you come to see me? The one I have brought with me has no connection to the legendary one, and yet I sense great promise in the courage that this one possesses." Promise? You suggest that I leave the fate of Hyrule up to mere chance? I do. It is the only way. Rude, am I right? I mean, Link is literally sitting right there, Jabun. Where are your manners? But proper insulting etiquette aside, the game goes out of its way to state over and over that the hero of winds is not connected to the hero of time. How odd. But could this really mean that the timeline lacks the spirit of the hero? Well, combine Link's disconnect from the hero of time with the actions of the goddesses. They flooded Hyrule. Think about that for a second. The goddesses, the ones who created the entire world of the Legend of Zelda. When Ganon reared its ugly head, instead of raising a hero to meet the evil head on as they've done countless times, they decided then to drown the world and its inhabitants with hopes of defeating Ganon once and for all. If this still seems odd to you, that's because it should. Could it be that the goddesses didn't call upon another Link because they couldn't? I mean, think about all the extra measures taken to ensure Ganondorf doesn't consume the world once more. They froze Hyrule in time by using the Master Sword as its key. They literally split the individual pieces of the Triforce of Courage that Link left behind when he left this timeline, and hid those pieces across the Great Sea, and even split the Triforce of Wisdom, all in attempts to hide their powers from Ganondorf. These are all really extreme measures that have never before been seen used to hinder Ganon's evil. Isn't it probable that this is because the spirit of the hero, the only one who could rise up to defeat Ganon, was gone? Now enter the hero of winds. So, okay, there's no spirit of the hero in the adult timeline. So what exactly does that make the hero of winds? Just some brave boy that just so happened to get caught up in all this because his sister just so happened to get taken away by some large burb? Yes, that's exactly who he is. He didn't have the Triforce of Courage. He wasn't born with the spirit of the hero. He's just a boy who made the choice to risk his young life to save not only his little sister from the clutches of evil, but also the entire world. Because of his immense show of courage, he was chosen by the Master Sword. In a very similar tone to Ocarina of Time, Link did end up bringing the completed Triforce to Ganondorf, but because of the King of Hyrule's wish, was able to drown away the old Hyrule once and for all, along with the King of Hyrule, the Master Sword, and the King of Evil, Ganondorf. He and the princess go on to found the new Hyrule, within which the events of Spirit Tracks take place, along with a new hero. I believe this kid, the hero of winds, was just a regular boy who became the new hero, whose spirit was then taken after he passed away by the goddesses to become the new spirit of the hero for the adult timeline. Meanwhile, over in the child timeline, the original spirit of the hero of time continued on and even made an appearance in the next game, Twilight Princess, as a ghost, yet makes no such appearance anywhere in the adult timeline. But let's bring this back to Princess Zelda. This video is actually about her after all. This is her legacy. Yes, she almost ended up allowing Ganon full reign over the world, but I say this in no disrespect to her. How many kids do you know around the age of 10 that are contemplating saving the world? I mean in a serious sense, not your little sibling running around with a toy sword slaying the boogeyman. But really, even as a young girl with her whole life ahead of her, she was cursed with visions of oncoming evil that she had to act on. It was her responsibility, but she didn't ask for it. If she did nothing, who knows what Ganondorf's true plans were? But when she did do something about it and tried to get to the Master Sword, she messed things up anyway. Her character is so complex that it's a wonder she's not depressed all the time. She bore the weight of the world on her shoulders, while Link received all the glory for defeating evil and the praise for becoming the hero of legend. And although she may have nearly lost it all, her actions ultimately led to victory over Ganondorf's evil schemes across every timeline. And that is the story of how Princess Zelda almost doomed the world. world of Hyrule. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun one that I greatly enjoyed making for you, and if you enjoyed watching it, please leave a like to get it spread around on YouTube. Also, make sure you've subscribed to the channel with that bell icon so you don't miss out when I upload more nuggets of epicness, as I am known to upload. As always, huge thanks to my patrons who make my day every day. If you're interested in supporting the channel and getting your name featured at the end of all of my videos, follow the link in the description below to find out how. Also down there are links to my social media pages, so come on over and say hi. That's all I've got for you in this one, so of course I hope you have a great rest of your day. This is MaskedNintendoBandit signing out. Peace!